Congratulations, pioneers! Today I have great news to share with you guys. You know what's absolutely insane? Right now, there's an officially approved app where you can scroll past excavators, Lamborghinis, and massive ships, all priced in a cryptocurrency that half the world still thinks is worthless. And here's the kicker. This isn't buried in some sketchy corner of the internet. This is mainnet. This is approved. This is live. I'm going to walk you through exactly what's inside this marketplace, and I promise you, what you're about to see is going to make you question everything you thought you knew about digital currency. Because the numbers don't make sense, the listings seem impossible, and yet it's all right there, working, approved, and growing. Hello again, Pi Network pioneers. I'm your host, Nathan. Before we dive deep into our video, let's greet and welcome my incredible pioneers from around the world. Whether you're watching from Nigeria, Papua New Guinea, United States, India, Philippines, Canada, Kenya, or anywhere else on this beautiful planet, I'm absolutely thrilled to share this incredible news with you today. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you're always in the loop with the latest Pi Network updates. And don't forget to drop a comment saying Pi Network to the moon along with your country and flag. Let's fill the comments with pioneer pride and show the world how powerful and united our global community really is. So, let's dive right in. I opened the Pi browser, the official browser for the Pi Network, and tapped on Pi apps at the bottom. 4 categories pop up: mainnet apps, services, testnet apps, and App Studio. Now, most people skip right past these, but here's what you need to understand. Mainnet apps means something. It means reviewed, it means tested, it means the core team looked at it and gave it the green light. That's where I found FCN Mart. From the name alone, you know what it is: a marketplace, a digital bazaar, a place where goods get listed and traded. But the second I opened it, I noticed something that made me pause. That little M badge, that mainnet symbol sitting right there on the screen. You don't just get that badge. It's not handed out like candy. This app was registered during Hackathon 2025, but here's the thing. For the longest time, it wouldn't even load. Server crashes, technical nightmares. The developers were grinding behind the scenes for weeks, maybe months. Then, just a few days ago, something changed. The app started opening smoothly. Pages loaded fast. Everything just worked. And when I got inside, I saw something that stopped me cold. About 190,000 Pi staked in this app. Let me repeat that. 190,000 Pi locked in by users. That's not people casually browsing. That's commitment. That's participation. The app's sitting at a 4.9 rating. People are using this thing. People are engaging with it. And when you start scrolling through what's actually listed, that's where your brain starts short-circuiting. The interface loads instantly, clean, simple, categories lined up on the left side. It kind of reminds you of other marketplace apps, but the products? Oh man, the products are on a completely different level. You don't see hoodies or phone cases or cheap electronics. You see excavators, industrial-grade tear-through concrete multi-ton excavators, bulldozers, dump trucks, wheel loaders, those massive JCB machines you see at construction sites digging foundations, motor graders, drilling rigs, conveyor belt systems. We're talking heavy machinery, the kind of equipment that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars in the real world, sometimes millions, sometimes multiple millions. And every single one has a price tag in Pi. But here's where it gets strange. The prices are displayed in micro Pi units because of GCV-based pricing. So some items, because of how the micro denominations work with insanely high real-world values, they look like they start from almost nothing, but they're not nothing. The math is just scaled so far down that the number looks tiny compared to what it actually represents. Then I kept scrolling, and that's when I saw something that made me zoom in to make sure I wasn't misreading it. A ship, a legitimate ocean-crossing, cargo-hauling vessel. And depending on the type and size, real-world vessels like this can cost anywhere from $50 million to several $100 million. But in this app, it's listed with a Pi price that, according to the GCV model, represents a valuation that's absolutely astronomical. Now, before you close this video and call it nonsense, hear me out, because I know what you're thinking. I know exactly what's running through your mind right now. This can't be real. This is just inflated numbers. This is hype. And look, I get it. Skepticism is healthy, but stick with me because there's more to this story. The app keeps going. Pages and pages of listings. Chocolates, drones, combine harvesters, those massive agricultural machines that harvest entire fields in hours, irrigation pumps, cultivators, tractors, equipment used on industrial-scale farms where a single machine can cost $250,000 or more in traditional markets. And then we hit the automotive section, and this is where things get really interesting. Toyota Fortuner. In most markets, that's a $45,000 to $70,000 vehicle. Toyota Land Cruiser. Depending on where you are, that thing can hit $275,000 to $330,000 in high-tax markets. Lamborghinis, plural, multiple models. Real-world price tags starting around $250,000 and climbing past $500,000. Porsche vehicles, typically running $100,000 to $250,000. Hyundai models, Suzuki Jimny, GWM vehicles. This entire section is luxury cars, high-end machines, the kind of stuff people work their entire lives to afford. And it's all here, listed, priced in Pi, based on GCV. Now, the developers who built this, they're from Indonesia, and they didn't just throw together a few random items. They packed this marketplace with premium assets across multiple categories. But I know the question burning in your mind right now, and we need to talk about it directly. Is this just marketing? Is this promotional fluff with zero substance behind it? Because honestly, when you first see these listings, your gut reaction is probably, come on, this is too good to be true. This is just smoke and mirrors. And that's a fair reaction. But here's what you have to consider, and this is crucial. If this was just empty hype, why would the Pi core team approve it for mainnet? Think about that for a second. Mainnet applications don't just appear out of thin air. They go through testing phases, they get reviewed by panels, they get examined by the core team. Testnet, sure, that's the Wild West, that's where experimental stuff lives. But mainnet is different. The core team doesn't let misleading applications sit on mainnet where millions of pioneers can access them. They filter out the garbage, they block the pure hype projects. So this marketplace isn't being positioned as some external Amazon competitor where you swipe your credit card and boom, Lamborghini shows up at your door. That's not what this is. This is part of the internal Pi Network ecosystem economy. And yeah, right now that ecosystem is still being constructed. It's still developing, which is exactly why it looks speculative to outsiders. It looks like maybe it's not real yet.
But here's the part that nobody wants to talk about honestly. Millions of pioneers around the globe believe in this valuation framework. Millions, not thousands, not hundreds of thousands, millions. And when you get millions of people collectively backing an economic system, that system gains weight, it gains momentum, it gains the potential to actually materialize. Because at the end of the day, economies run on belief, they run on trust, they run on participation. Think about traditional money for just a moment. Why does a dollar bill have value? Because we all agree it does, because institutions back it, because there's a system that says this piece of paper represents purchasing power. Pi Network is attempting something similar, except it's being built from the community up instead of from governments down. Now, I already know what you're thinking. How does Pi actually circulate within the ecosystem? How could Reward Pi hold this kind of value? These are the questions everyone asks, and honestly, the answers aren't crystal clear yet. The ecosystem is still maturing. But the belief, the collective faith that millions share is that those answers are coming. Patience is the play here. And let me give you some perspective on the timeline, because I think people forget how long this has actually been in motion. Reaching this current stage took 5 to 6 years. 5 to 6 years. When Pi Network first launched, people screamed scam. They called it an MLM pyramid scheme. The core team had to publicly address it multiple times, clarifying that it's not MLM. Then when GCV was introduced, people laughed it off. They said it was fantasy. They said it would never work. They said it was delusional. But something shifted over time. Support grew.
More people started paying attention, more pioneers joined. And today, millions of users support the GCV concept. Sure, there's still a vocal minority criticizing it. There are still doubters. But that minority gets quieter every single day because the belief among supporters is simple. Time will validate GCV. Time will prove whether this model works or collapses. And right now, the evidence keeps stacking up. Because when you go back into that marketplace, there's even more. Mercedes-Benz vehicles, BMW models, luxury residential properties, actual homes you could live in. Home appliances like refrigerators, Samsung air conditioners, LED TVs, washing machines. In traditional markets, these items range from $500 to $5,000 depending on quality. Smartphones from Oppo, Samsung, HP. Travel packages, pilgrimage packages for religious journeys. High-end motorcycles from Kawasaki and Honda, typically running anywhere from $5,000 to $30,000 in real markets. This isn't a handful of placeholder items. This is a comprehensive marketplace. For months, this app was dead in the water. Registered, approved, but offline because of technical issues. Now it's operational. Now you can browse freely. Now you can see the full catalog. And that shift is significant because showing you these listings isn't just about saying, hey, look at these cool products. It's about demonstrating that GCV-based valuation, the concept everyone argued about for years, is now visible inside functioning mainnet applications. And here's what really hits me about this whole situation. The early supporters, the pioneers who got in during the first year or two, they stuck around when there was literally nothing to see. No apps, no products, no proof, just a white paper, just a roadmap, just a promise that something was being built. And they held on anyway. Now those same people are watching apps go live. They're seeing products get listed. They're seeing prices displayed in Pi based on a community-driven valuation model. And their conviction? It's stronger than ever. Because now it's not purely faith. Now there's something tangible. Something you can open on your phone, scroll through, and interact with. But let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture here, because I think most people are missing the forest for the trees. What we're witnessing is an experiment in creating economic value through collective belief and participation. Traditional currency works because millions of people trust it, because governments back it, because systems enforce it. Pi Network is trying to do something parallel, but bottom up. Instead of a central authority saying this has value, it's being built through a community of millions saying we agree this has value. And that marketplace? That's part of turning belief into infrastructure. That's part of making it functional. Now, is it perfect? Absolutely not. Is it fully realized? Not even close. Are there massive risks involved? 100%. There are tons of unanswered questions. How will large transactions actually execute? How will the secondary market function? What happens if mass adoption stalls? How do you prevent manipulation? These are all valid, important concerns. But here's what keeps coming back to me every time I think about this. 5 years ago, this was just an idea in a white paper. 3 years ago, people were still calling it fake. 1 year ago, there were 0 mainnet apps showing GCV-based pricing. And now you can open an app, browse industrial equipment and luxury vehicles, and see everything priced in Pi based on a community-driven valuation model. That's progress. That's movement. That's evolution happening in real time. Whether you believe it'll succeed or crash spectacularly, you can't deny that something is being built. Infrastructure is forming. Ecosystems are developing, and millions of people are actively participating and believing. The pioneers who joined early aren't just holding Pi and praying it magically becomes valuable. They're watching the foundation get laid. They're seeing applications launch. They're seeing marketplaces populate. And their belief is that eventually all these pieces will connect. That GCV won't just be theoretical, it'll be a functioning economic framework. Will it actually work? Nobody knows for certain. But dismissing it completely means potentially missing one of the most interesting economic experiments happening right now. And engaging with it critically, asking hard questions, watching how it develops, that's how you stay informed in a space moving this fast. So here's where we actually stand. FCN Mart is live on Mainnet. It's showing GCV-based pricing for real-world assets, ranging from construction equipment to luxury cars to residential properties. About 190,000 Pi are staked in the platform. People are actively using it. People are engaging with it. And more applications like this are almost certainly coming down the pipeline. The question isn't whether you personally believe in Pi Network today. The question is whether you're paying attention to what's being constructed. Because 5 years from now, you're either going to look back and think, I'm glad I watched that develop, or you're going to think, I really wish I had paid closer attention when it was still early. Either way, this is happening right now. The marketplace is functional. The prices are based on GCV, and the pioneers who've been waiting patiently for years are finally seeing their patience translate into tangible working applications. Because if they're right, if this model actually works, we're watching the ground floor of something that could fundamentally reshape how we think about digital currency and real-world value. And if they're wrong, well, at minimum, it's one of the most fascinating economic experiments we've seen in decades. And honestly, that alone makes it worth watching.